Good morning, Santa Clarita. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. This is Wade Beyond the Courtroom, and I am your host, attorney Wade Skalsky. Very excited to chat with you again today. This is our second show. Last week was the inaugural show. I won't call last week Radio Gold. It was more Radio Bronze, but we're working hard. On the board with me today is Mike Dowler. Mike, how you doing today?
Hey, Wade, good morning. First of all, do I need to talk to an attorney first before I do the show?
Yeah, no, you can.
I'm
it's
good.
just you and me, right? We're good.
Because I was concerned.
Good. I know. So we're very happy to have Mike in the studio. A little change. There was a cage match between the board operators over the week, and Mike came out victorious.
Match. I like that.
Yes. So Mike's helping me today, and I'm very excited for that. So we're going to start off today with Wade's Week in Retrospect. So during the week, I'm going to see something. We're going to chat about it. I'm a defense attorney, so every day I drive to court. That's my job. I'm in court every single day. So I'm driving my truck this week, and I'm behind a guy in front of me, and typically I talk to myself when I'm driving. I don't know if you do that yourself. And when someone does something that offends my driving sensibilities, I'll say something to the effect of, what is this guy doing besides annoying me? So that's typically what my response is. And I look at this.
And who are you talking to when you ask that question?
Just myself, really. Yeah, exactly. So
do you answer yourself?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I do sometimes. Sometimes I say, why am I talking to myself? Or I'm beside myself. I'm over here. So
I do the same thing. Sure.
Absolutely. So this guy's in front of me, and he's got this bumper sticker, and it says, "Show your mind, not your behind." Okay, and so I guess that the purpose of this bumper sticker was the kids today, they have these jeans that they wear that are too baggy and they're too low, okay?
The pants on your ground analogy.
Exactly. And apparently this offends some people's sensibilities, and I don't care where you come on that one way or the other, but what struck me about that in Wade's Week in Retrospect is that our economy is so complicated that there's like one person who feels so strongly about this and needs to put a bumper sticker on his car, and there's another guy that actually produced that bumper sticker. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but there's like 6 people that are going to buy that. How does that work exactly?
Do bumper stickers really affect change, though? That's the question.
Well, I can tell you a funny thing about being a defense attorney. When I do a jury trial, some attorneys during a jury trial, when you're picking the jury, will ask potential jurors what bumper stickers you have on your car. So that's actually something that attorneys do.
And I know that word. It's called voir dire.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right, Mike. Excellent. So far, we're off to a good start. And the reason why I bring up this bumper sticker is because actually it does reveal something about, a vanity plate or a bumper sticker, what you put on your car. It does reveal something about your personality. And apparently this person really, really cares about youth fashion. I don't know.
Oh.
I know. Anyways,
really?
So that was my my week in review. So now, Mike, we're going to talk a little bit today after the break with a friend of mine who's a PhD. But before we do that, I know that I had promised last week that we're going to talk about some of the mistakes that normal people make when they go to trial. Okay, so or to go to court just itself. Now, Mike, have you ever gone to court for like a traffic ticket or something?
No.
Okay. Try not to go. There's a sign that's in the Glendale courthouse, and it says "Court is an all-day event."
Yeah.
That's the sign. That's it. They're telling you are going to be here all day. That's not fun for anyone.
No.
If you have an attorney, thankfully, typically we get to go first. That's the one advantage of spending all that money in law school is I get to go first at court and cut the line at the clerk's office. That's about it. But other than that, when normal people – did you have a question, Mike?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm stunning you so much with what's happening.
I'm enamored, yes.
I love it. I'm grappling with the
and you are an attorney, so I'm a little leery. But that's okay.
Okay, it's all good. So if you don't have an attorney and you go to court, what happens is that you can make a mistake because there's some things that you should or should not do. Last week we talked about inappropriate attire. I guess we're talking about inappropriate attire this week with the pants thing. But basically, number one is that people will go, and the first mistake they make is they don't listen to the judge. They have it in their mind, I want my day in court, I've got a story about something I'm going to tell, and so the judge will say, all right, we're going to call you up, I just need you to say yes or no, do this or do that, and the moment the person gets to the lectern, they start to chat about whatever it is that their story is, their day in court. And that's the worst thing you can possibly do because the judge has to give you permission to talk about that. So people, if you're going to court, I need you to have your head in a swivel. I need you to be listening to what the judge has to tell you. And you'll get your time to speak, but just make sure that what you don't do is try to tell a long-winded story about what happened in your case. So that's time for that.
Do you think most folks go to court assuming automatically it's going to be bad?
I think...
And that's why they're in that that mode?
I think so. Yeah, I think they're in flight or fight mechanism because it's an unusual thing to go to. There's nothing else quite like it. Right. So I think that people are nervous when they go. I think they're anxious when they go, and that's one advantage of having an attorney is we don't get nervous after we've done it for this is my 17th year, and when I go to court, I don't get nervous because I've done it every day for 17 years. Just like you've been in radio for a while, you don't get nervous on radio, so it's just that experience, right? You're natural. Is this your second time doing radio? Today?
Yes, I started two days ago.
It was really interesting. It was after that cage match, you just were really, really tough, but
got through it.
I know, right? Well, listen. So what people, just like I said, is what you're going to do is make sure you keep your head on a swivel. When we come back from the break, we're going to be speaking with a real live PhD. We're going to be chatting about some business issues. I know it doesn't sound exciting, but trust me, it will be. You're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. I'm attorney Wade Skalsky, your host on Wade Beyond the Courtroom. Your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. This is Wade Beyond the Courtroom, and I'm your host, attorney Wade Skalsky. So we're going to have a momentous occasion right now, our very first call-in guest. I'm very excited about the technological wizardry that my man Mike is taking care of right here. So I'd like to introduce to you Robert Scott Evans, a Ph.D., although he goes by the name Scott, which is his middle name, which has always been a mystery to me. Scott, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, excellent. Scott, thank you so much for being with us today. How are you doing?
I'm honored to be a part of your show today.
Thank you. So now, where are you calling in from, Scott?
Calling in from fabulous Austin, Texas today.
Austin, Texas. Now, Texas is one of my favorite states simply because there's no state tax. We haven't quite figured that out here in California, but I may be in the minority in that. I don't know. But so now you're a PhD, correct?
That is correct.
Now, what did you get your PhD in?
Mechanical engineering.
Okay, so you really have a strong dislike for math and science.
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Now, I have to confess that I've known Scott for a very long time. Scott, we go back quite a ways. We were friends in the 8th grade and on.
It's difficult for me to fathom that the same brains that spent most of their time memorizing Saturday Night Live skits are now on the radio trying to help people out.
Not only do those brains memorize Saturday Night Live skits, one of them became a lawyer and one of them became a PhD. So I guess I should refer to you as Dr. Evans as a result of this call.
Oh, please don't.
Okay.
That's
okay.
not necessary.
So, Dr. Evans, what I want to talk with you a little bit about today is that you actually are a consultant, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And what kind of consulting do you do?
I do a wide range of consulting. It's usually someone's trying to get some kind of early-stage technology, something that's been discovered in a laboratory someplace in the last couple of years, and they're trying to get it into a product, or they're trying to get it into improve some kind of a manufacturing process.
So I'm kind of a simple guy. I'm not a science guy. So I think what you're telling me is that if I invent Velcro in my garage, you help me produce and get that to the people who really need Velcro.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. I know a lot about that whole process from, hey, I've got something that worked once in a lab all the way out to, hey, we're mass producing this and people like it.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you know a lot about Velcro?
I do not.
I don't either, so maybe we should move on from that.
No. But I do know that people over at 3M like to call that hook and loop because they want us to steer clear of legal issues around the use of the term Velcro.
And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about. So let's talk. I have a legal show ostensibly, so let's talk about with a startup, what kind of legal issues, if I invent something and I want to get it to the people, what kind of legal issues do I have to worry about in that situation?
Well, of course, you have intellectual property stuff, which is patents and related things. So sometimes you want to use a trade secret, not a patent.
I think
go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's a good thing for the people to know is that it's not an unusual question. I'm a lawyer, and I'm asking Scott, okay, what are some of the legal issues that startups have to deal with? One misnomer I think about lawyers is that people think that we know everything about the law. We all learn, I think much like engineers, you're a mechanical engineer. You don't know a lot about, let's say, aeronautical engineering, right?
you would not want me to build your airplane.
Right. I would not want you to build, because you are good in that one area of engineering. You don't know everything about engineering, just like I don't know everything about law. You yourself may know more about startup issues because you consult in those and deal with the lawyers in those scenarios. So what are some other things that people got to worry about in terms of, intellectual property is just kind of a fancy way of saying we want to make sure that we protect our idea and make sure no one else has done it before, right?
That's right. You're trying to often when you're a little guy, you have a new company or you've invented something, one of the hazards is that a large, well-funded company will see that you've identified a market that wants this new widget that you have, and then they put their resources on it and sort of beat you to the punch.
Gotcha.
So
and then also,
not only do you have to be careful about intellectual property, you also have to be careful about disclosure of that stuff to people as you're trying to get partners built and get it out to market.
So that actually you have enough time to protect it so that if someone does then duplicate what you do, you have a recourse in the courts.
That's right.
Okay, perfect.
And actually, I think that's a really good point there that you made, and that is, if you're in the intellectual property business, you're ultimately talking about the courtroom. And so you want to have somebody who's got the expertise to build your contracts, to build your patents and stuff like that in such a way that they will stand up really well. Hopefully you never get to the courtroom, but that's what you have to be playing courtroom games when you're writing your patent.
You have to worry about the aggressive trial attorneys like me. That is what I am good at, and so you have to make sure, hey, we need something that will stand up in court if it does get into litigation, right? That's
right. We like to say, or I like to tell people, you want to make sure that you're thinking about Wade coming after you,
right?
That's important.
That doesn't happen very often, I think, but that is true. So okay, great. Now we're going to go to break here in a little bit, but when we come back, I'm going to want to talk to you about what can happen in terms of, let's say that I go to DuPont and I work for them and I invent something really, really cool. So I guess the question I'm going to have you answer when we come back is, do I get to keep the patent for that, or is that something that DuPont gets? Because I think it's interesting to know what happens in that situation. So we're going to go to break now, and you're listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. I'm your host, Wade Skalsky, for Wade Beyond the Courtroom. Talk to you in a bit.